Are we ready to roll the dice, Fabian, on what could be... This could be great. Well, I don't know what you were doing there. That gesture, that looked...
Rolling the dice.
It looked like you were doing the jerk-off gesture.
If you're jerking off like that, there's something wrong with you.
You don't do this one when you like people,
It's like you're in a Premier League game.
Yeah, spot on. You're doing the you're a jerk-off.
Listeners can really see what's
they
happening.
They can see. It's a visual medium. But we're gonna try this, and this could be.
You know what
good.
that reminds you of? What was the line he says?
This is
Leslie
the end.
Chow.
I thought you were doing gay boys.
So long, gay boys.
That's what he's doing.
Yes.
He's rolling the dice.
This segment, it could be good. It could be a disaster.
Yeah.
We're just going to listen through. We're going to see how it goes. So, if you want to play along, so to speak, at home, we're going to queue up the last quarter of a great game, or a quarter from a great game from a great win, and we're going to start things off with the 2013 Elimination Final, and watch the last quarter.
Yep.
And just sort of wax over the top of it and muse about our experience. Were you at the game, Terry?
I was.
Excellent. You two were there. I was there. So that's a good start. So roll it for us, Fab. Give us a little tiny bit of audio. Don't give us the full audio. A little bit less. No, you're giving more. Less. It's
perfect.
No, it's not. Less. Go to 20. You went to 22. Why are you so oppositional?
It's not that accurate.
You do realise when we sync this over the actual game...
Andy McGuinness was playing.
Oh, I loved Andy.
Wow.
Give us a little bit less, Fab.
The day he did his ACL against Gold Coast in the first 20 seconds of the
You're
game.
going more. A little bit less.
For God's sake.
Don't make me fly.
I can't go much less than that, Sean.
All right, the ball has been bounced.
We're there again.
I feel like I'm back there.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm shaking in the seat. There's
Never
Eddie
forget.
Cochin, just been named. He's captain of the Vicks.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's not contrived.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have been named if it was at this time.
No. Funny, that's Dan Jackson obviously just ushered Ed Kerno out of play. That's just about where Trent decapitated Dylan Shield.
Mm-hmm.
Trent. Ed is one of my clients.
He is. Ed Kerno. He's doing some work out in Geelong.
Oh,
Mitch
Robbo.
Robinson.
Oh, he has. Oh.
This is the only time I've ever seen him run down.
Occasionally you get run down.
Nah.
Oh, Jeff.
Oh,
this
Jeffrey.
hits the post.
Pencil.
Yeah, he did.
The noise at this stage, because, I mean, what have we got the score? We're just behind. We'd come from absolutely nowhere. Brett Lidio's got some speed.
He's got wheels.
We hadn't hit the front. So in the third, when Scotland... Was it Scotland or Eddie? Eddie kicks the last goal. I think we're down by a couple of points. So we actually never hit the front in the third
We
quarter.
just came from nowhere. We went bang, 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 bang.
5 or 4 in a row.
Yeah,
Menzel.
just
Wow. The day he got drafted, I carried on like a pork chop.
Troy.
In excitement?
Yeah, we've got a Menzel.
This one's knees are good.
My sister's a Geelong supporter, and I text, I got me a Menzel.
Yeah.
I still think that Troy could make it.
Oh.
Sitting here in 2020.
I still think Chris Yarran could make a comeback and still be a very good footballer.
I haven't seen Chris of late. How's he going? Have you seen any footage of him?
I haven't.
He's in the clink, isn't
Sad.
he? I suppose he's not hosting like a video, like a vlog, is he?
Wouldn't have thought so.
This is when Richmond wore that disgusting mustard sash.
They've gone to a highlighter yellow now.
Well, it's yellow. This is awful. Ricky Pettit,
Pettit.
lovely
Wow.
guy.
Ricky Bobby.
Ricky Pettit, mates with a guy who gets a regular shout out on the show.
Pierre.
Don't mention.
Gozza.
Oh, really?
Went to high school together
Ricky Pettit's a lovely guy.
on the Gold Coast.
He was assistant coach at Box Hill when I was there.
Gozza, Ricky Pettit, and the blonde guy who went up to play for Richmond as well. Can't remember his name now.
Rory Hilton.
That's what I was thinking too. Aaron Edwards. Took one of the best finals marks of all time playing for North against Hawthorn, I think.
Did he?
Yeah. Big hat.
He played in some reasonable games. He was at the Eagles, obviously, for a little bit.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
too.
And then I think he was in with the wrong crowd.
That's a trivia question.
He fell in with the wrong crowd a bit, I think, at the Eagles,
Yeah, and
unfortunately.
he was the one that got the arse after they had all the issues with the drugs.
They can't afford it. It's the absolutely classic.
You
Benny
just know
Cousins
what's
is out of
coming now.
control. Daniel Kerr's out of control.
We'll get rid of Aaron Edwards.
Aaron Edwards, you've got to go to set an example.
Correct.
How can you forget this moment?
I turned to
That
Dad.
camera angle there, Tim, you saw a shot of...
So it's the ball
Us.
up in the square. Robbo, you idiot.
I turned to Dad. I can remember this vividly and said, "We can't knock it through.
Yep.
We can't
Oh,
knock it." I
before it happened?
vividly remember saying, "No one knock it through. No one knock it through."
And as he ran up, you knew
You
exactly
knew
what he was going to do.
As classic Mitch.
And you've gone, and Mitch Robinson doesn't know. He doesn't know.
Classic Mitch Robinson move, though. Best intentions. Just, silly.
Big Ivan.
The big mullet.
First of two.
He does kick 2 in the quarter.
I love
he does.
that.
Again, one of the best goals.
I love that
of all
even
time.
Mick's sitting there
Mick's
going,
looking at it going, what?
"And what's the rule?"
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, it's a
So
free
is
kick.
that a thing?
He's like,
But the response by Robbo
Yep.
is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Just
And this is why
and it was, he's gone, okay, well, I've got to make amends.
Yeah.
this is why the game's got such a terrific narrative. You see, they go, Marich kicks an amazing goal. Hendo runs back with the flight later. Robinson makes amends.
Spoil it, for goodness
It's
sake.
all
It's
seen
a
it, Tim.
great quarter. I reckon the third's a better quarter for us.
For us, for sure.
But obviously the
The drama.
Oh, the subs
tension
were
and the
still in at this
drama.
point. Right.
The drama is all-encompassing. Mick, of course,
Gibbs with his socks up.
didn't work out for Mick, but occasionally you still get drawn in with Carlton fans for talking about Mick. And, Mick was a brilliant coach.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't work out with us because maybe he was just at the end of the line. He was an older coach.
Mark Murphy's a bit smart, for sure.
The ideas had sort of run dry a little bit. We were struggling clearly in a club very much in transition, but he was an outstanding coach. And,
Eddie.
and at this time, I will have this on my epitaph. We were right to sack Rats. That is what it will read. Sean Peterbuck, 1988 to 2075. We were right to sack Rats.
2075.
Yeah, I've given myself 87 years. That should be enough to see us win one. It was a good kick from Gibbs, absolutely magnificent. Stevie Morris.
Morris couldn't
Kick to
handle.
a
He
face.
couldn't
Kick to a
handle Eddie.
face, not a face. That's what I tell my under 12s.
I think that they're just kicking it wherever, aren't they?
Fast Eddie Betts.
Beautiful.
Last
But,
game
I think
in
they
Melbourne.
stopped doing that.
It was too.
Last
Yeah.
game in Melbourne for Eddie.
Yeah, they were talking about that midweek on the radio.
How many goals is he kicking this year?
This
35.
year,
35.
this year?
Yeah.
I'd like
yeah,
30.
I'd be looking at 35.
I'd be stoked with 30.
30. I think for me, 30 would be great.
Yeah.
If we get 30 from him,
Well, it's the old question. How many games does he play? If he plays 22 and he kicks 35, you're happy.
yeah.
If he plays 12 and he kicks 35, he's
Yeah.
done really well.
He's in the All-Australian contention.
With Dave Cunningham.
David Cunningham.
Just for those listening along, the score: Richmond are 88, we are 85.
Well done, Fab. That's a dynamite drop.
Big centre bounce.
Big Matty Cruiser.
That was a great bounce.
Oh, good hit from Cruiser, actually. But marriage, that's just, sometimes things just go your way.
Yeah.
Oh, Ty Vickery.
Is he the most maligned player of the 21st century?
Possibly. There's Robbo.
Oh, he's just lifting.
Retribution number one.
Yep.
Like,
Intercept mark.
Ty Vickery's
And
greatest...
a good play on and release.
Ty Vickery's greatest sin is that he's like a competent AFL footballer.
His biggest sin was when he belted Dean Cox.
No, I mean in the sense of the eyes of the public who
shot.
just hang shit on him relentlessly. It's like,
KB didn't help him.
yeah, but it was all in good fun.
Yeah.
But, yeah. This sense of... Oh, Tommy Bell.
Oh, Tommy Bell through the fingers.
The Endeavour. Edward.
Eddie,
Stop it.
Doesn't make the distance, does he?
Oh, he doesn't. I remember that.
I vividly
I think we
remember
were up on that one.
Early beard for Hooley.
we were.
yeah, I think he's just started growing it.
You can still see his neck, Basher, at this stage. But he was running through the middle of the ground, Basher, in the third quarter, and just blazes away. And you turn to me and you go, he's just dropped the game. He's dropped the World Cup.
Simo's got the beard here. at
Still
this
got
point.
it. Yeah. The jaw protector.
Another retribution, Tommy Bell makes up for the mark.
This is
he can kick this.
This is what should give Carlton fans and really fans of any club hope. You look at this Richmond team here, and absolutely there's massive turnover to come. But there are guys, Shane Edwards in this team's just an ordinary player.
Yeah.
Nick Vlosten's an ordinary player. You got guys like David Asprey who've come in and been a really important part of a premiership. Basher Hooley here is just a competent AFL footballer playing a nice role. Sean Grigg. And these guys have gone on to become integral parts of premiership winning teams.
So true.
And you're sitting here going in 20...
Obviously, Cochin, Rewalt.
But you're sitting here in 2013. Do you reckon Tigers fans walked away from this going a couple of flags coming down the pike?
No.
That was still.
Well, as they left the ground,
Yeah.
they would think you were having a crack at them.
Well, you were having legitimately.
Well, no, I was.
Literally.
But
a
I
crack
wasn't
at
saying you're going to win 2 premierships in the next 8 years or whatever it works out to be.
it. Poor Delidio.
Funny thing is, we probably thought we could win the
closer.
flag. Yeah.
Well, we were. Yeah, I think our top end at this stage was better.
And then in hindsight, look at this list. Oh,
Duigs.
This is the mark.
Robbo.
Bruce is losing it.
Please try. You get the sense with Bruce, and there's a couple games, Carlton games for me that stick out with Bruce. We played a couple against Essendon. 2001, there was one for sure where we knocked them off without Cooter, Bradley, and Sauce. But you get a sense when Bruce he's barracking, not in a nasty, vindictive
For the
way,
narrative.
but he's barracking for the Carlton winning's the story.
The backstory, correct.
A great man.
And he kind of gets a feeling that, this is a good one. This is a ripper.
On your Robbo.
Well done.
Never in doubt. Never in doubt.
Important goal.
Had ticker. Still always had it.
He's a... How
Still
old,
has it.
how old
Yeah.
is Robbo? David, 9 or 8? 9. So he'd be 30.
Well, he was my second draft, so he's drafted the same year as Chris Yaron.
So end of 08.
Yep.
He's a real modern sort of early adopter. He's got his own. He streams on Facebook.
Yes.
He's got his own podcast. The setup he must have at his house must be incredible. Yeah, the high definition streaming. Like we use a platform, and it's just like pixels like that big.
Robbo's not
He's got the
skimping.
money to buy some toys, doesn't
Yeah,
he?
yeah.
That's the reality.
When Terry makes it big, he'll go. When they ask, the backstory. My inspiration.
Pixels
Mitch
1 meter by
Robertson.
1 meter.
I remember talking to Andrew Moore, obviously Port Adelaide and then Richmond after that. And when we were at Box Hill, we had a, what's it called? The Drummond, the virtual golf at Drummond Golf? Big Swing. We had a thing at Big Swing because they were a sponsor.
Across the road from the station.
It was in Kew.
Oh,
Second
okay.
air swing by
And
Troy Menzel.
we went down a Big Swing just to do like a bit of a sponsor video, and a few of the basically said to the boys, does anyone like playing golf? And it was basically the ex-AFL players. So Max Warren, who was on the North Melbourne list, Andrew Moore came down, and who was there? There was one more. But it was funny. I remember saying, Moore, you're a keen golfer, and he goes, one of the first things you buy when you become a professional footballer, you get to the club, he goes, you buy a set of golf clubs. And I go, why? He goes, I don't know. He goes, you use them a little bit to start with, and when the weather's nice and at the end of the year, he goes, you just got money. He goes, so you buy golf
You've
clubs
got to
and
do something with it.
They ain't cheap.
And he goes,
Golf
yeah,
clubs.
and he goes, at Port Adelaide they had quite a few guys that used to go play golf. But he goes, yeah, most footballers will have a really nice set of golf clubs, whether they use them or not.
Wow.
Rite of passage.
Was this
Yeah.
Newman's last game in footy? No.
Maybe. It's his first final, and I
Definitely
think,
his first final, yeah.
I always maintain, I think sentiment got the better of the Tigers at selection.
He just had strength,
Tommy Bell.
Tommy Bell, but Jesus,
Just not a lot
No
of
end
polish.
product.
he had that 60-metre goal the week before against Port, which he didn't intend.
Well, that was a Cam McCarthy style kick to the top of the square that just floated through. Beautiful.
But as you say, what's so wrong with kicking to the top of the square?
Brock McLean, also against Richmond, over Levi's head.
So Brock was the one who fell out in the warm-up.
Yes.
Nick Dog was eating
Of this
Subways.
game?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And Nick Duigs comes in and kicks 4-3.
1 a quarter.
It's one of the great stories. Duigs turns up to this game to support his teammates, having no expectation. He walks into the rooms that day, I'm not playing. And he's happy to get around the guys. He's got a homemade sandwich in his jacket.
Salad sandwich.
And they literally come to him after the warm-up and say, you're in.
I thought it was a Subway sandwich.
No, I think that he's...
That
I
might
think
be a
it's
bit of
sandwich.
Chinese
on that.
whispers. Yeah.
Part
I
of the
thought it
bun.
was too, yeah.
Yeah.
Duigs to me, if somebody said to me, homemade salad sandwich or a Subway, Duigs is, I'd be going,
He's a
homemade.
bit of a salad sandwich man.
Yeah, he would have whipped that up on the way out the door and thought, I'll tuck into this before the game.
Well, the thing with that is he doesn't play the game in his head.
No,
The preparation's perfect for the game.
I still reckon that was stiff as a holding the ball. I reckon
Yeah.
Walks has got it for not long.
Oh, it's a full play.
But then they even called play on for stiff on Richmond too.
Yeah.
Once they get awarded the free kick.
But this was the era, Fabian, you got to remember.
Good kick. Smart kick.
Smart kick.
Did you say that pick up by Yaz?
Yeah.
This was the era of, if you take advantage, that's it. It's on you.
Yeah.
And while we're running and cutting the game up like this, you're going, we're on.
Waitey.
Miss the unmissable.
Morris here looks like a fish caught in a six-pack holder.
like a young girl who's wearing those mermaid tails.
Yes, in case like you can't move. But no, that was obviously a big let-off for us at one end.
I think
This
it
is the
is.
moment,
It's
yeah.
absolutely the moment.
This is
Gets
the
out to wait.
this is the loudest roar I've ever heard
Yep.
at a sporting venue.
Ever.
Ever. I still get
Got
goosebumps.
goosebumps now.
I get goosebumps.
That's unbelievable. Because he never showed emotion.
No, Terry.
He never showed emotion, and then he just. It was like that was the moment he became a Carlton man, because you've got to have a bit of emotion.
No, I could not agree more. With Juddy, there was always a sense of he was a bit of an interloper.
Yes.
He's a Carlton captain. He's an absolutely outstanding player, but he's like Cripps. We spoke about this last year, where Cripps, maybe the Brisbane game, one of Cripps' enormous games, and I put a poll on Twitter to say, who do Carlton fans love more, Chris Judd or Patrick Cripps?
Yep.
And I don't think it's simply because Cripps has played his whole career with us.
Yep.
But there's a sense that he's more of a Carlton man.
Yep.
And as wrapped as we were to have Juddy for as long as we had Juddy, like you said, that was one of the only moments in his entire tenure at Carlton that I can recall raw emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Crippers,
he was a little bit more mortal now, I think, too. That's probably... Because I remember the goal against Geelong on his left.
Oh.
yeah, in front of... Was it in front of...
He had a busted ankle.
Chappie, yeah.
Gee, Jeffrey.
That wasn't a great example, but Robbie Warnock could leather a football, couldn't he?
Yeah, it was a mungle kick, but he was... Yeah.
I
He could
maintain,
always kick, and he was very good below his knees.
Robbie Warnock, superb ruckman,
Good tap
Just
ruckman.
didn't have the body.
but probably just didn't quite have the game to, around the ground marking. Kicking could be a little bit sketchy. But if you just said, an old style 25 years ago, 30 years ago, he would have been superstar.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. At 206.
Super
And
athletic.
this is the...
Well, this is Richmond's moment if they win.
You're kidding. Yeah, I remember this.
Credit with Crucius, that's a ripping goal from
That's a
ruckman.
great G-up as well. Fair play.
The look in the eye.
Yeah,
You're
fair
going-
play. Listen, fair play.
We always thought Ivan was a little mad, and he might have just...
He
proved
wasn't a
that.
little man.
Yeah. That's what you play sport for, moments like that.
You do.
Look at this bloke going. He's purple.
Well, imagine they'd won the game, though. Like,
Yeah.
imagine Richmond go from there and win the game.
But that's their moment. That's what gets shown
Well, it
over and
was,
over
yeah.
again.
And Juddy's moment's great,
And the
Whereas-
hair flicking back.
but it's
Oh,
consigned
Do you know what?
to history.
Carlton supporters see this goal from Ivan, but Richmond supporters never will. Like, it doesn't get replayed.
Yeah.
It doesn't
They
get
don't wanna see
celebrated.
it.
It's one of the best goals in their history.
Look at that.
It was celebrated at the time by them,
It's a great mullet.
but
It's a fantastic mullet.
It's amazing.
That's
Bailey Smith's coming for the title this year.
Well, that's what five.
It's all right, isn't it?
That's what 5 or 6 years in Adelaide will do for you.
Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal from Ivan.
The only problem is Bailey Smith's an attractive bloke, and he
Yeah.
doesn't need to be, whereas
Wow.
that works.
Yeah.
Great from Tui there. That was a good example there. This is another interesting. I could be wrong, but I reckon Tui just kept his feet and out. That's unbelievable from Duigs.
Great contest.
Tui just kept his feet and outworked Dustin Martin. And you sit there
Young
and go,
Dustin Martin.
He
but
defended
I
him
take
well.
your point.
He was our Dustin Martin
Yes.
defender, but
Yeah.
yes,
very
Dusty had to
young
become.
Dustin Martin, but you sit
Yeah.
there and you go, like, that's phenomenal.
Oh, Steve Morris.
Dykes did that against North Melbourne one night, and in a very similar contest,
yeah, I
won us the game.
remember that,
Drew Petrie, Fab's mate, was coming the other way,
Yep.
and Dykes went back with the flight and pretty much saved the game.
I was watching it at an Airbnb in Ocean Grove.
you know you're going to get hit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's your turn to go.
Well, you knew you were going to hit. Dykes and you, in that moment, knew his knees are coming from our
You're
sternum.
like kindred spirits.
A lot of banging on the boot here.
Robbo's
Look
everywhere.
at Rance. Like, what are you doing, Alex?
He came of age.
Oh, fucking.
Bang. Bang.
When I remember Alex Rance, when people talk about Alex
Jared
Rance,
Waite's legs legitimately taped on.
Yes.
Jared Waite is legitimately held together with tape. And you sit there and go, this is Alex Rance to me. The player that the AFL allowed him to become is an indictment on the competition.
Yeah. We need to get Charlie out of the 30 ASAP.
You reckon that's the issue?
Cursed.
At his best,
Oh, yeah.
and he didn't do it for long enough,
Yep.
but at his best, he was... This is going to sound outrageous, but he was Franklin-like in he had that athletic ability,
He was a much better mark than Lance Franklin.
but he's one of the top
No,
three
no, I'm-
players
I'm-
of all
mate,
time.
He's the tallest
Mate.
half-forward
Yeah.
flanker of all
Mate,
time.
I'm supporting what you said, and you've just knocked me down.
Yeah.
Like, on the lead, Jared Waite, full pace on the lead's outstanding.
He's a competent key forward, but he brought that athleticism. When the ball hit the ground, Jared was always in the contest.
Love Nick Boston here.
I remember him just linking up. Every time he went up the ground, he was that release kick.
What's the score, Fab?
Richmond 94, Carlton 104, and there's probably about I know the worms on the screen.
Yeah, but at this point, as a
It's
risk,
the 18th minute mark.
is it? Yeah. So 8 minutes left, and
Plenty of footy.
but the commentators are calling it over at this point.
Momentum.
This is
because it
when-
was Richmond as well. It was like, it's happened.
I think we
again.
kicked 8 goals to 2.
We're going to get beaten
or 8
by the
goals
team
to
that finished
3.
9th.
Yep.
This is when, as a fan at the game, doesn't matter if it's a big knockout final like this or just a general home and away game, Ivan's goal cancelled out Judd's goal too quickly.
Yes.
You sit there going, they're going to kick another goal, they're going to kick another 2 goals, but they can't kick them for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
We need time to
Just
become
hold. Yeah.
just time to become the issue, and that creates panic, creates error. But to Richmond's credit, particularly the Ivan goal, they got it pretty much straight away.
Dennis.
I reckon I saw Dennis having a coffee on Friday morning.
You said
You
this
texted
to us,
me.
yeah.
Yeah.
You said
In
this.
Vermont. It may not have been him. It's a very common.
Oh, Lachlan.
Could do this, Lockie.
Yeah.
He float across the front.
Speak, how quickly did Lockie become dead to us all? Oof.
Yeah, but there's a way to go out and there's a way to go
But
out.
did he really do it that badly? Like, honestly, they said to him, "You're leaving," and he goes, "Yes."
He
like-
checked out, hadn't he?
Yeah.
No,
No.
but he was.
You
He
work
was.
to
He
the
was.
end and you go, I'm going to apply my craft
I
somewhere
do
else.
think
And
he
you're going,
was-
will you go with our blessing?
I do think he was a bit injured, and I think that Sauce's attitude was, "Well, we've got a deal in place for you to go to Geelong. That's fine. We'll protect our.
That might have been it,
We'll
yeah.
protect our asset. Because if you get injured, well, we're all stuffed."
Correct.
What a duel that is. Match up for the ages. Ty and Lockie Henderson. Walks. I always like seeing Walks forward.
Yeah, I agree.
And we always seem to want to play him anywhere
That
but
2011 season where he played for, he kicked over
50.
50 goals.
56. I remember. 56.
I would have loved to have seen him, like, even like on the wing, go through the middle a little bit.
Yeah,
The best game of footy he played for us, arguably, was his first,
was his first.
and he never played there again.
It was the week of my birthday. I was celebrating. I thought it was the best best birthday present ever.
We've won
This pass is one of the best passes of all time.
it. Jeffy on his left.
That's
Degree of difficulty.
That's unbelievable.
any of us who have played the game. I'm talking about even just amateur, like the lowest of low level. That is so hard to do on the run, opposite foot, curling it around and placing it perfectly like that.
Look at that.
Oh, Jeffrey.
And gained Dehghani 10 metres.
Yeah,
Actually brought him into range.
yeah.
For absolutely outstanding. I'm not
Why
really-
wasn't he not allowed? He wasn't allowed to play.
bizarre.
on it?
Because
I'm
he
not sure
stopped, he
what the-
conceded, and then he.
I put the hand
he
up.
Basically said, then you got to go. You got to take your kick from behind the mark.
It sounds weird. I probably prefer Dykes to have the kick.
6.5 minutes left, Duigs.
And Juddy.
Well, Juddy had slipped over anyway.
Yeah.
Juddy couldn't stand up.
The boys.
Dykes is sitting there going, 2.5 hours ago, I was eating a salad sandwich in the rooms.
When did he
What was
retire?
in? What was in the sandwich?
This was his second last game for the club.
Yeah, so he didn't play after this year.
No, he wrapped up. So
Yeah.
the urban legend. And
But we didn't know that. Like, it wasn't like a known thing. Did we?
well,
I
the
don't
urban
remember-
from inside the club. I think
Yeah.
I might have told this story before, and I have no details beyond what I'm going to tell you here.
Okay.
So don't ask any questions.
Yeah.
Basically, halfway through this season, the legend is from someone within the club. Mick Malthouse was having a pretty hard go at a young player in a team meeting, and made his point that he was really labouring it. And Duigs apparently said, "I think that's enough. I think you've made your point." Mick did not take that well, and effectively said to him,
I think that's enough.
You're done. You're never going to play for us again, blah, blah, blah. That coincided. He then disappeared from the team, people might remember. He came in for the Port Adelaide game as a sub, an injury sub. Came on late in that Port Adelaide game, played well.
Put a hip and shoulder on Kane Corns.
Yes. Played well, and then obviously was dropped. He might have even played one before the Port Adelaide game, but effectively injuries gave him a reprieve. And then he was dropped for this. It was the latest of late call-ups.
Yeah.
Played, starred, played the next week,
to
and
play
that was
next week.
and that was it.
Yeah, wow.
So apparently that's the story, is that he was, spoke up in a team
And
meeting.
yet, realistically, if there's a way to treat people, and look, Mick was a coaching legend, but if he's getting a bit older and he's mistreating people, and somebody calls him out, is it that bad of a thing?
Yeah, maybe not.
Team fabric, yeah, maybe you don't do it.
This is a guy too.
and maybe
that,
you need respect and all that sort
Well,
of stuff. But respect is a two-way street.
this is
too.
a guy that what are we here? September. This is a guy
Eddie
that
Cruz's face is split open.
11 months earlier was hallmarked as a potential captain of the football club when Mick came aboard.
Well, that's
Duigs.
That's a solid cut.
Dimmer, once again, who would have thought, not even Damien Hardwick, in his heart of hearts, would be sitting there thinking, I've got a couple of flags on the way. He'd be sitting there going, I'm done. If I don't win a final in the next couple of years.
But again, the whole thing, the fact that Richmond, who were perennially finishing ninth and missing the finals, were going to get knocked out of the finals by a team that finished ninth. He's a smart enough man to have seen the irony of that.
Well, of course, the headline on the paper the next day.
Ninthman?
No, it was from 9 to 5, which I quite liked.
Very clever.
And this was back in the day. They've stopped doing it lately, where you had the fixturing allowed them to do it, but we played.
Ooh, that's a throw by Dennis.
But we played Essendon on the Sunday standalone. We played Richmond on the Sunday afternoon standalone, and just like outstanding blockbuster winner-take-all knockout finals at the MCG, which were drawing 90,000 plus.
Yeah.
They've kind of gone back to the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, twilight Saturday night.
Yeah.
But we never play the only final played during the day, Timbo. Do you know what that is? The only final played during the day. It's the grand final. Every other final's played at night or twilight, except the grand final.
Bit of a biff here.
Steve Morris is involved. That's a surprise.
Brandon Ellis, of course, now a Gold Coast Sun, was yelling at his teammates last week, which I didn't think was a good look. Having a bit of a go at him.
Is that Daniel Jackson?
It is Daniel Jackson, yeah.
He looked like he was at the end.
He's a broken down racehorse.
Very smart cat.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
very smart
Is he a
cat.
Carey boy?
I'm not sure. But he's one of the... he's part of AFL Europe now.
Pretty, yeah, no, I have seen him. He used to be on like, the
AFL
Footy
Europe.
show.
He lives in London.
Good gig if you can get it.
Oh, Lachlan.
This
That was
is
Mitch Revolt, right?
Unfortunately, the collateral damage was Jamo.
It was Mick Jamo.
He was
someone definitely write into us and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'll forget to look this up. But I think Lockie Henderson played in more finals wins for Carlton than he has Geelong.
Yes, correct.
Wow.
I think you tweeted something to that effect.
Maybe.
That's holding the ball, no?
That's another.
Well,
that's
if
another
Andrew
throw.
Walker got done down the other end.
Yeah.
I don't know how Marich isn't.
That's
so.
another throw from Gibbs.
Yep.
We'll get away with it. We'll take it. Take him where you can get him. Jack's body language here, great.
What was the ad? The Michael Jamison ad. As I live and
As I
breathe.
live and breathe.
Yeah, it was a travel ad or a
Yeah, they're all holidaying. I think it was a Carlton
insurance
draft ad.
ad or something.
Love Jamo.
This is the thing with Jamo. People forget he was an outstanding player.
Yep.
And his record, particularly against Jack Rewalt, was terrific. We just got to the point where his shoulder, he was just never fit enough to play. He was magnificent when fit.
Well, I remember him going head-to-head with Nick Revolt and out at Etihad and really pushing
Fantastic.
Rui. But in fairness, Nick blew him up by the end of it. And
We
Blew
won.
everyone up.
No, he did. He was unbelievable.
We won the game though, didn't we? That one.
I think we did. The one that I'm thinking about, I think we won. But you just sat there and I just loved how well he was going against him. And all of a sudden you've gone, oh, I think Jamo's done.
Well, he was a guy we
pick
got.
up.
Judd.
Gavin Krasiska brought him in from North Ballarat.
From North Ballarat.
Who's that with the ball?
Dehghani.
That's one of my favourite pieces of commentary where
Had to take that, Gibbs.
I can't remember. I was up before acceptances for this one.
Short again.
When Juddy did that,
This is one of your blokes from Port Adelaide. What was his name? Troy Chaplin. Charlie.
was he the one that wrote the club a letter on the way out the door about them being no good and needing to improve, and then they were better than Richmond shortly thereafter? That piece of commentary, just backtracking a bit, when Juddy picked up the ball, one of my favourite all time from Bruce. Means nothing to opposition fans, obviously, we know it backwards. I can't remember the player he says, if a Richmond guy says such and such has been good, and then Judd swoops on the ball, he goes, Judd's been magnificent. And it's just every time I watch it,
only Bruce can.
every time I watch it, I love it.
I feel like... Yeah, the other moment in this quarter is coming up.
Oh, when they pickpocket Alex Rance?
Yeah, where Jeffy jumps over.
Yeah.
He's like, put your glasses down.
Timmy Watson style.
He calls him. It's an amigo.
It's an amigo.
Yeah, it's great.
The club.
Carlton are going to Sydney.
Another tale from Sean's time at Carlton. The boys, Yaz, Eddie, and Jeffy,
Yep.
were happy for the club to build, like whether it be a kids program or a membership or something
Like Charlie's kids now.
around the amigos. And they were like, yeah, no, we're happy to do it. But internally, there were people at the club who kind of balked at it a bit.
Okay.
I don't know what, for some kind of negative connotation.
Welcome
what
to Australia.
what
Something new and
bizarre,
innovative. And
whatever the issue was. And they said, Yaz, I remember Yaz vividly overhearing him go, someone said, there it is. Someone goes, oh, well, we're just not sure, and me goes, oh, we don't want to court any, someone might blah, blah. And Yaz goes, yeah, we're okay with it.
yeah, that's all that matters.
Because we're fine with it. Because they were going to put, like, caricatures on T-shirts and all that kind of stuff.
Sombreros?
Maybe. I don't know how far the concept got, but it was
So
mixed.
we're going to Sydney, boys.
And I've told the story again. This game earned me an extra couple of weeks of full-time work for my trip.
Sean thought his year was over.
I did. At half-time, I thought, I'm going to have to rebudget that trip to Europe. And then the boys came through and got me another couple of weeks.
The dream lived on.
The dream lived on.
I watched the final at Icon Park, actually.
The Sydney game.
The Sydney game. When I watched it, it was busy then.
We were hanging in.
Was that a Saturday night game?
Yeah.
We were hanging in.
Was that when somebody did an ankle early and Kurt Tippett came off?
All-
And you thought,
All I know is that Mick refused to put anyone on Jared McVeigh. We were just kicking the ball to it.
you just thought, I think Tom Mitchell did an ankle.
Oh,
actually.
maybe. Oh, Jack.
Oh, Jack.
Jamo.
Jack was his own worst enemy here.
A couple of body language things we
Yeah.
sort of mentioned earlier. He's, there's Newey. Lovely guy,
It's
Newey.
good that Jack has turned his career
Yeah.
around.
Is
but,
it, Tim?
Well, no, look, I know what you're going to say,
I
Sean.
mean, you say that,
But there's peak Richo about Revolt here, but the fact that he's made good on it, you're going, well...
what have we got?
The
What have we got on the
story
clock,
probably needs it.
Fabian?
40 seconds left. Eddie Betts has marked the ball on the...
I think we've started singing the song at this point
on the outer
in
wing.
the crowd from memory.
Fabian and I wouldn't know. We were behind
No.
glass.
I was hugging Tim.
This is as good as obviously
I
winning
had
flags and
warned-
everything, but from where we'd been and what we were trying to do and how we got there, this was as good as it got.
Yeah.
I'd worn the print off the record, like just squeezing it so nervously.
Mum, to this day, Mum sends texts. So when Dad and I are at the game, Mum's an Essendon fan, but
Yep.
Mum will check the score, and we return the favour if she's at an Essendon game. But
Text the time.
she'll text the time.
There it is.
I'm sure about Murph celebration.
Yeah, don't know
That's a
about
bit
that
weird.
at all.
It's a bit weird to this day. Newey, broken heart Newey. Probably shouldn't have played in hindsight, but sentiment got the better
What a
of him.
great feeling.
Scotto, terrific player. We obviously did a bit of a chat this week. Ricky Tiller, one of our listeners, put a underrated players who have played for us in recent times, and Scotto got a lot of love,
Absolutely.
which
What a pickup.
it sounds
What a pickup.
silly because he obviously won a John Nichols medal, but I think that people probably undervalue Scotto as a player. He's a much better player than his reputation. I think when people bring him up, they go, yeah, good player. But he's not front of mind.
True. Good kick, both feet.
Beautiful.
Hard, tough.
Competitive.
Well, he does a left foot snap in the third quarter of this game that was just
Juddy.
Juddy.
Birthday boy?
Yeah, he was.
Probably was, yeah.
Bit of excitement there from
Speaking
Juddy.
of birthday boys,
Smile.
happy birthday to you, Sean. Your birthday was 2 days ago?
It was 2 days ago.
Happy birthday, Sean.
Thank you.
No invite. What, you didn't get the invite?
Evidently not.
The
Okay.
I
invite- Don't worry, Timbo. I haven't had a birthday party in more than a decade.
I had a 40th.
It's just another day.
You did have a 40. It was a freezing cold night. Richmond played Melbourne.
Carlton beat Freo that day. In Freo.
Were
during the
we
day.
wearing yellow?
Yeah, we were. The Armstrong
Yeah.
yellow, I
Had a
reckon.
good win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the Armstrong Yellow was a Sunday night game.
Oh, then it wasn't the
Oh, okay.
Armstrong yellow. But we did beat Freo that day, and we weren't expected to win. Well,
I always like when you see
era.
these poor Richmond fans sitting there. Go home.
The one in the bottom right corner, yeah.
Go home. But what an absolutely outstanding victory that was. Obviously tied, I would imagine, with Essendon. I think that's probably our best win of the last decade,
Yep.
which is sad, but it's true. But yeah, absolutely outstanding day to go there, to be in the position that we were and to end up winning by, was it 3 goals?
Yep.
And it's effectively like an 8 or 9 goal turnaround, really. Absolutely brilliant atmosphere. You guys don't know anything about it. Terry and I lived it.
Beyond glass.
I heard the anthem, so then I went back behind glass. It was... So I got the contrast, and yeah, it was like, silent. in the box.
We've said on pod last year, there's been a few times last season when the raw is starting to come back.
Yeah.
And there's some real emotion and momentum and expectation bleeding into what we're doing. And
Well,
I just still think we're going to unleash one day.
Setterfield's goal against Adelaide
Yes,
was
yes.
just...
Well, this
It
day
shook. The place shook. I went, wow.
This day was very much the birth or the reckoning of what Richmond have become now.
Yep.
But this was kind of the embryonic, this army awakening. And people, we were there in very good numbers as well, Carlton fans. But if we can get back to that point, like if we hadn't played a final in Melbourne for 10 years before the Essendon game, that was a big deal leading up to that. Probably more nervous because we were clearly the better team.
Yep.
That day was a little bit like we got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
We obviously want to win.
Throw at the stumps.
But you sit there and go, if we can get back to a position where we're challenging seriously, we'll sell the MCG out like Richmond did.
Absolutely.
If we squeeze into the 8 this year, if that happened and we were playing a decent drawing fifth side, it'd be massive. You get 95,000 of
Yeah.
it.
We would, when we use the
Imagine
example.
we played Collingwood.
Oh,
Imagine we played Collingwood.
Oh,
I might get divorced.
An Essendon final win, a Richmond final win.
Oh.
And I've never seen a Collingwood
trifecta.
final win in my life. Oh.
I've never seen a Collingwood final. I don't think. We
No,
played a
I
Collingwood
haven't.
final in my lifetime.
We
81?
beat them in 81 grand final, but that wasn't in your lifetime. We beat them in 79. I wasn't following footy as a 3-year-old.
Not too closely. But you think about what we could become, and that's obviously what the club are sort of forecasting. 95, we had sort of 60,000 to the Bears.
Yep.
People could obviously sniff a premiership, but
Jeez, we struggled that day.
Darryl White nearly got a hold
Struggled
of us.
that day.
but once again, what the Lions,
Go back and
would
watch
become.
it though. Voss, Acker,
Leppich,
they're all
Lappin.
there.
Yeah.
In 95?
yeah,
Yeah.
the Bears.
They were all
Just a
kids.
young Brisbane Bears side of
Oh,
just
right.
full of
With,
this
with Roger Merritt just hanging on
Yeah.
and really piloting them really well too.
MacIver,
Coached
Scotty
by a
McConnell.
super coach as well that day.
Big Robbie.
Rob
Big
Walls.
Robbie Walls. In for Fabian Faberganoush.
Arrivederci ragazzi.
For Tim, Coach Davis.
Always a pleasure.
For Big Terry
Big Terry.
Dehghani.
Cheers, boys.
And
Really
for me,
appreciate
Sean
it.
P. Thank you so much for listening. We'll catch you next time.